Hey everybody, this is Howard of Avtransfers.co.uk, your one-stop shop for media digitization. Well, it's a mouthful. If you've got old tapes, films, slides, vintage broadcast media, we do the whole lot. Be it U-matic, Betamax, Betacam, DV-Cam, D2, D1, open reel tape, 1-inch tape, we do all of it. So that's the spiel, that's that out the way. If you like that kind of thing and you want to get something done like that, avtransfers.co.uk. Today's video we're looking at some retro electronics, and I found this little goodie searching the internet. It is possibly, as far as I know, the smallest portable miniaturized Betamax VCR I've ever seen. So stand by and let's take a look at the SL-B5, I think, and for comparison purposes we've got an SL-F1 as well to have a look at. Stand by. Today I'm going to share with you a very interesting piece of equipment that just arrived. I was scratching my head the other day just thinking about Betamax machines. There are pretty cool machines out there, and then in my googling and whatnot I came across this Sony portable video recorder destined for the Japanese market. Perhaps it made it to the Americas as well. It's an SL-B5. This is a twin speed portable Betamax recorder, not unlike the SL-F1 which was sold here in the UK and in PAL regions. But there's a difference, and I'll get to that in a second. Obviously, cosmetically, it's a bit different. If we take a look at the front of this machine, first of all, I must just point out it's being powered by the standard Sony SL-F1 power adapter, the AC-F1. This is the European one, so this is being powered by 240 volts, but once it gives its 12 volts out, it can plug into pretty much anything. And I bought this as a non-working machine, and I'll tell you the saga there. I didn't make a video of the repair because I wasn't that sure the repair was going to work, but it seems to have done the trick. So this is essentially a direct drive machine. There's no belts inside as far as I can tell, except for one to rotate the tape around the head, which is a pretty straightforward system. It's got a very nice big LCD display, bigger than the SL-F1. And there are quite a few features on here. Obviously stop, eject, play, fast forward, picture search, rewind, picture search, stop, record, and then there's also twin speed, so beta 2 or beta 3. There's a time and date option. You can actually set your time and day on this, tracking, and a couple of other features that I need to just translate because I've completely forgotten what they were. So this machine is right now playing back a very cool tape I got some time ago from Japan as well. It's an NTSC tape. I think the artists will probably be quite familiar to you if you like pop music from the 80s. And yeah, this basically was released in Japan as a I guess another place, another market. It's a pretty good tape. It's NTSC, which is great for testing, and launched, or at least released under Vestron Video, which was also under a name called Wiener World, which is quite a funny one. But let's just leave that one there. I'll make your own conclusions. So we've got a very authentic NTSC system here. This is the Sony KV, I think it's a 9-inch. Yes, it's the KV9AD2. And the reason I'm using this one in particular is because I don't have the patch cable to take AV out of this machine, and I just wanted to quickly test if it was working. So I just use an F plug to F plug. This is modulating on channel 2 VHF, and you can see it's playing quite nicely now. So there were a couple of problems when I got this machine. The first one was, well, it was a big problem. I couldn't get this to eject, so it would not eject the tape. Now if I try and do it now, it does it no problem, but in the beginning it wouldn't. and I had to strip the entire machine down and lubricate the eject mechanism, which I don't know if you'll see it in there, but there's a little lever which pushes across this way to push this up, and it's driven by the tape lacing spool. And at first I thought it was just a belt issue, but it wasn't. It turns out, for whatever reason, in fact you can see it in there now, I think basically the plastic has shrunk, and so when it pushes the lever, it's not pushing it far enough. So I had to super glue in a little piece of wood. If you look above my finger, you'll see what looks like a piece of matchstick, and that's exactly what I did. I glued in a piece of matchstick in there. Now I'm not sure if there's another way to adjust this space, but on the other machines that space was a lot closer. So instead of mucking around and causing damage to the machine, I just glued in that little piece of wood there, which you can see standing right up, and that did the trick. Now there you go. So whoever owned this machine really loved it. There's been 2 screws put in here. Obviously this cover, for whatever reason, failed, and whoever owned it before me put 2 screws in here. And when I opened it, I didn't realize there were nuts on the other side, and of course the nuts fell in, and that was a whole nother drama. But luckily I managed to fix that. Well, not fix that, that was, repairable. And if you look inside there, there's also a guide on the right hand side that basically, when you put the tape in, it pushes down on the tape to make sure it gets loaded properly. And this side, the guide was lying straight down, actually blocking tape entry, because the plastic unfortunately had broken. So I actually had to glue it in a higher position with a hot glue gun, but it seems again to be holding it quite well. So yeah, a very simple repair. I think the machine cost me about $10 plus shipping, but so not a major investment, but a great little machine, and I'm pleased as punch. There we got a video going of this very machine. This is possibly the smallest, and I stand corrected, this is the smallest portable Betamax machine I have seen. Just bear in mind that this portion here is empty. It's just a battery pack that you can remove. But let's include that in the sizes. So this machine is barely wider than a tape. It measures in at just under 19 centimeters wide by, let's have a look, 25 and a half centimeters deep. So a really compact machine. I mean, there's the Betamax tape, and you can see it's incredible that Sony was able to do this back in the day. And it's a very neat little machine. I think it's as robust as the SL-F1, which brings me to the next machine. Okay, so in the interest of completeness, let's just compare the standard SL-F1. I do have these in PAL. This is the first NTSC one I bought. Why? I don't know. I just thought it was cute. And so let's just compare, right? We said that the first machine's width was just under 19. So 18 and a half, something like that. 18 and a half, right. The SL-F1 comes in at 21. So you're talking about a difference of from there to there. That's quite a lot of space. And depth wise, this machine comes in at, even with the battery pack, this one comes in at 25 centimeters, right? The SL-F1 comes in at, wow, it's just a tad over 30. Is that right? Yeah, that's 30 centimeters as opposed to 26. So you're talking about a considerably smaller machine. I'm going to put the one on top of the other and you can see what I mean. So if you have an SL-F1 or you remember them from the past, there it is there. And this machine the SL-B5, I get cold shivers. It's just, that's how much smaller it is. Let's just get out the way. Can you see the difference in size? It's notable. That's like a 25% smaller footprint. So, you know, in the days you were carrying around portable machines, that's a big difference, right? And just lying directly on top, they've been lined up, so they are square at the back on the right, and you can see how much smaller this machine is. And they haven't skimped on any of the other features. It has, the only difference I can see is this one doesn't have a clock or a date. Okay, and this one doesn't have a light behind the display, but this has a bigger display. So really impressive. So now I'm going to hook up the other one, the SL-F1, which I have not tried yet, and I want to see what that one, if that one works. Stand by. Okay, so I've tucked the other machine away, and now I'll be taking a look at the SL-F1, which is a really cute little machine as well. Is the light working? Oh no, let's put it on first. Okay, let's put it on. Right, so this is an interesting TV as well. Unfortunately, there was the cabinets of these are very brittle, and this one was very broken. A friend of mine actually very kindly managed to glue it together, but the one of them arrived with a broken tube, so it was totally useless. But the one that was working failed because the flyback failed on the high voltage section of the tube. So he was able to take the flyback from the broken screens machine board and put it into this one. So that's why I've got a working KV9 monitor. Let's put that on. Okay, that looks good. Let's just see here. Right, we got our little light. This is a genuine first test. I have not tested this at all. Fingers crossed. Oh, there we go. There we go. You'll notice there's a line on the picture on top. That is actually the tape. This tape was a bit knackered, a bit hammered, and that's why it looks the way it does. But having said that, wow, it works. Now the reason why I sort of like these machines in a big way is that these portable machines, they weren't super beta, they weren't hi-fi, they were just good old standard Betamax machines, but the heads are good on these machines, because these machines, no matter how many home movies you recorded, I'd be very surprised to find any of these machines that went through a pair of heads or a set of heads. So essentially, this is, for all intents and purposes, a good way to source heads. If you want to get a good machine, you don't want to spend a fortune. There's a couple of things good about these machines. Direct drive especially, and the fact that they're generally very low hours. People didn't rent movies and watch them on here. They didn't time shift. They didn't record TV on there. They recorded from their cameras, and maybe from a PCM deck or PCM digital encoder. But generally, these machines were not high-hour machines, so I just like them because of that. So I think I've got a PAL one, and this is the NTSC one now, which I got out of curiosity. Oh, that flap is a bit naughty. It's also quite nice. It's got a headphone socket in the front, I believe. Let's just see if there's sound coming out of that. Here we go. There is sound coming out of that. I can't play it for you because it's music. It's not very hi-fi, unfortunately, but a very quick and responsive machine. Okay, so there you have it. Another nice toy for Avtransfers. So an SL-F1 portable video cassette recorder. So there's I've got the PAL one and the NTSC one. There's one more of these coming because I wasn't sure if this one was going to work. So there's another one on the water, and a whole lot of other stuff. So if you like seeing these kind of weird and wonderful machines, then please consider subscribing to our channel. Avtransfers UK is the call sign, if you like. Breaker 10 for good buddy. I love all this old 80s stuff, and I just love that generation of machines. How cool they were. I'd like to find the companion camera for this model. In fact, the B5 would be the one I'd like to find, because that is an even cuter machine, and I'm sure the camera would be even cuter. But from me and old Freddie Mercury and Greenpeace, non-toxic videos, that's all for now. Bye for now.